Welcome to the Sales Strategies for Christian Coaches podcast. You did catch me laughing as I opened the show, which you're probably not used to. This podcast was started to help Christian coaches optimize their business models, pricing, and sales strategies so that they can scale their income and their impact. I started my business in December of 2018, just hoping to make it. And I did over $250,000 in that first year. It was way beyond what I thought was possible. And my dream now is to help other Christian coaches and entrepreneurs accomplish their entrepreneurial dreams. And so we're going to help you with that with this podcast. You caught me laughing as the podcast started because I'm with my friend here, Jared Wittman, who I've known for many years. Jared and I met when I was 18 and he was 19. Or I was 19, he was 20. It was very, very early on in our entrepreneurial dreams and trajectories, and also just our lives. Yeah. I've known Jared, I'm realizing now, half of my life. And almost exactly half of my life, Jared. We've known each other. We both sold Cutco kitchen knives. If you've heard of Cutco, you can, on your own, give a shout. Woo! Cutco is cool. That was my first sales job, and it was a goofy job, but I loved it and was really good at it, and it was fun for me. Jared sold Cutco as well, and we developed a friendship there, and we've stayed in touch over the years, and we would typically get together once a year, every other year for coffee or lunch or an extended phone call. And on one of the days that Jared reached out, and we booked a lunch. We got together at that lunch, and to my pleasant surprise, as I sat down with him at the sushi restaurant we were eating at, Jared said, "Oh, by the way, I love your podcast."
Right.
I'm like, "You listen to my podcast?" And I was just kind of shocked. And Jared said he'd listened to every episode. We had 30 episodes at the time, and that kind of opened the door to a conversation about Jared's direction in business. And we ended up working together in a number of different capacities. He's been a client at Faith to Influence. He's been a team member, an extended team member in so many ways. He's done video at our events. He is a great video marketer. That's what he does. He's great at YouTube. If you have enjoyed our YouTube channel or you're watching this on YouTube, you have Jared to thank for that. If you have seen our speaker reels or highlight videos from our conferences and things like that, you have Jared to thank for that, or I suppose I have Jared to thank for that. So Jared, thank you for your expertise. Do you want to share anything else about yourself and tell us about your business?
Yeah, so I started Wittman Media, and Wittman Media helps brands and businesses connect to their audiences through video content and marketing strategies. And I think they really play well together because we're in this age where video is so prevalent. I really think that video today is what websites were in the late 90s. Like if you didn't have a website in the late 90s, you were going to be left behind. And if you don't have a video now, especially if you're a coach, online, digital, you're going to be left behind. Your competition is going to overrun you. So I'm going to be super biased on video, but I also love video. And I think this is really cool because I get to do what I love every day and help people do what they love. And just like this ripple effect of good people helping good people become the best versions that they can. And that's really exciting because as a wave continues to grow, or as a ripple continues to grow, can build into a wave, and a wave can impact the shoreline over time. And that's how the world can be changed. And it's just super exciting. I'm just super excited to have the opportunity to talk with you and then talk with your audience too about the importance of getting on video.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, I'm realizing I never landed the plane on the opening laugh. Jared's funny. Jared's been making me laugh for almost 20 years. Jared, we're recording this on Riverside, which some of you are like, "What do you mean video?" You're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We're happy that you're just listening to the audio if that's what you're listening to. You won't see how handsome Jared is, but you can just take my word for it. But others of you are watching the video on Spotify or on YouTube or somewhere else. And so, great, we're doing this on video. We use a recording software called Riverside that allows me to do a lot of different interesting things that I think are fun. I can tell you more about that. If you have questions, email me, justin@faithandinfluence.com. I'll tell you more about it. Yeah. But Jared, as we're recording on Riverside here, it does a 5-second countdown to start the video. So we're sitting here next to each other. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I'm like doing a lot of coughs. I'm clearing my throat. I'm drinking a lot of water. I'm prepping myself. I told him I was kind of slapping my face today. I was like rubbing my head. I was doing some unusual things that I normally don't do because I decided this week to wean down my coffee intake and increase my green tea intake. I don't need to get into the depths of why, but I just think green tea is good for my body, and my body wants it. But my brain doesn't like the caffeine change. And so I was doing all these weird things, getting my head ready, removing this headache the best I could. And then I clicked start, and the countdown went 5, 4, 3. And at 2 seconds, Jared said, wouldn't it be funny if it counted down from 100? And so that's why you caught my opening episode laugh. All right, we'll move on from that story, but it's fun. It gives you a little bit of Jared's personality. Jared, if somebody is listening to this podcast episode, I remember what it was like when I was new recording video. Yeah. I remember being totally scared. Yeah. I remember like recording non-live videos, which, this is a cool expression of like how we do it now. I just click play, we record, whatever happens, it happens, and we roll with it. So the opening laugh, if people listen to this podcast and this is their first time listening to me, they're like, who is this guy? Why is he laughing? Fine, I'm good with it. It's authentic, right? It's real. But when I was new, I would record and I'd watch and I'd beat myself up and judge myself, and I'd re-record and watch and beat myself up and judge myself. It was so hard for a while. Yep. And over a period of time with repetition, it got easier and easier and easier. And now I think video is easy and fun. But I know a lot of our listeners are in that new phase that I was in where it felt really scary. It felt really intimidating. Can you give us 3 keys for a new coach to bring their presence online with video?
Yeah. I think I totally understand where you're coming from. And I sound really confident being on video, but that's because I've been on video so much. And my confidence has built over time, which is one of the added benefits of being on video. Because now whenever I talk to someone, I'm just on it because I've been talking about what I've been talking about on video and letting people just kind of view me as me. I think the first thing that you can do is don't look at this mountain of overwhelm of what video is. Focus on the very first thing that you can focus on, and that's to start. And it's just about getting through the reps of posting a video, recording a video, posting a video, uploading a video, scheduling a video, and putting it out there. And then whatever you like from that video, apply it to the next one. And whatever you don't like from that video, leave it. But you want to continue to build up an archive, a library of video content. And this is going to be beneficial from a marketing standpoint as well. I could get into the weeds. I could geek out on all the marketing video stuff. It's really cool to me. If you want to talk more about that, you can certainly reach out to me or reach out to Justin and he can make an introduction. But the very first thing that you need to do is start. And then you want to get your reps in. Go through the process of figuring out what you want to talk about. Talk about generalized pain points that your prospects or your customers have experienced, and talk about those because there's going to be similarities between everyone. Let me just make a note here. So there's going to be similarities between other prospects and other potential clients. So if you can connect with them and help them by sharing your content, by sharing your value, that's going to be beneficial for building a relationship with other people. Mm-hmm. But it really comes down to getting your reps in. You have to post your content, and you just have to go through the process of being in camera, being uncomfortable on camera, looking into the lens or looking at your notes or, but you have to start, you have to get your reps in. Justin, you say this a lot. The key to mastery is repetition or something like that. So,
that's it.
So
repetition is the key to mastery.
Repetition is the key to mastery. Thing. Yeah. So, I mean, a year ago, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been as confident on camera as I am now, but that's because I've been on camera, recording videos and posting content over a year. A year from now, my video content is going to evolve. I'm going to continue to get better, and you get better every time you do it. You're going to suck when you start, and that's okay. You have to be fine with being imperfect. Which leads me to my third piece of advice: be yourself. I run into so many people who are like, why would anyone listen to me on video? Can I be my goofy self? Can I? You should be yourself. That's how people connect with you. Authenticity is so important, especially when it comes to being on video. Your perspective, your personality, your characteristics are unique to you. There is no one else on this world that is like you. So allow people, open that door to the opportunity for people to really build a connection and a relationship with who you are. Because when they see the value that you have to share and they like your personality, they might eventually do business with you. And that's where the power of video is. It's a numbers game. The more content you put out there, the more value you share, the more opportunities you have to create followers and subscribers, the more opportunities you have to create conversions. So it's just a really cool thing. It's a long-term game, but it's super important, just like websites in the late 90s.
Yes. Super, super valuable. There were a few things that I grabbed from what you were sharing. The first thing that you said was, I've been talking about what I've been talking about for a while. And you kind of clarified that more eloquently later, but I really liked it the first way you said it. I've been talking about what I've been talking about, ... And he went on from there. But here's the truth. I think that great coaches should be like great radio stations and play the hits. We should be talking about what we've been talking about. We shouldn't try to be new and original over and over and over and over. If you've listened to the Sales Strategies or Christian Coaches podcast, you've heard some of the same themes again and again and again, but in different ways. And that's what's important, is like we don't need that much to share. We just need to share the same handful of things in interesting ways over and over and over again, because you mentioned it, repetition is the key to mastery. And so if we want to teach something, if we want our audience to understand something, to be able to implement something, we need to share again and again and again for it to get through. Sometimes people need to hear the same thing 7 or 8 times before it sticks. Yeah. So I thought that was really valuable. What I heard is your three things were: number 1, to like just click play and get the reps. Number 2, to focus on the pain points that our audience is facing. People will oftentimes Google or search on YouTube how to solve whatever problem they're facing, right? So if we identify the pain points of our target audience and we speak to those things, super valuable. And the third thing was, be yourself.
Yes.
Be yourself, and know that like your authenticity is going to attract your tribe. And there's enough people in the world for all of us to have the clients that we want and to serve the people that we're called to serve. And you said about that also, it's okay to suck when you start.
Yeah.
Some of you like that language. Some of you don't like that language. Either way, we're not going to be as good when we're brand new as when we're a little bit further on. And so allow yourself to be imperfect. Allow yourself to suck. Allow yourself to learn forward. And it's the only way. No one on their first video or their 5th video is as good as they are on their 100th or their 500th. And some of you are like, 100 or 500. Cool. Just record one. Just focus on one at a time. And you also mentioned it's a long-term game. And part of the value of the long-term game is consistency. So maybe you find a rhythm that works for you, like once a week, or twice a week, or 3 times a week. Some people are gonna be like, I'm gonna do this every day. I know somebody who's recorded a video every day for like 3 years in a row. He did it on YouTube, like little like 5 to 7 minute videos about chronic pain. And he became so well known in that marketplace that he had a $100 a month offer and he had 180 people in it, which is $18,000 a month on this little baby offer. And that was his only strategy, was doing that 3 to 7 minute video every single day. It really works. Jared, anything else you want to add here on the video piece?
Yeah, I think just talking about like the amount of opportunity to connect with a wider audience than your natural market. Video link is 1,200% more likely to be shared than a text or image link. And so you have the opportunity to really expand your reach and expand your impact on the world and the people that you can connect with. I think the next thing I want to say is that video is the tool of choice. Justin, you talked about Spotify, and I just heard that Spotify is allowing videos to be uploaded. So
we put videos there now.
Yeah. So like the transition, even if you look at Instagram in 2018, they transitioned from a image only site to doing video. So video is so prevalent. It's all over the place. If you're not on video, you need to get started and start now.
Yeah. It's growing all the time. It's a really good point. And just keep it simple. Here's one of the things I know is like the 1-minute videos. Jared worked with me on this, like the short reels that are a minute or less.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most oft consumed videos. You see them as Instagram reels, Facebook reels, YouTube shorts, etc. And so you can do a very short video. You can do a kind of a mid-sized video, like that 3 to 7 minute piece of content I mentioned a friend did every single day. And of course, you can have longer form videos as well. One of the easiest things for me was just taking something I was already doing and putting it on video. So I was doing the podcast audio only for the first 6 months or 12 months of it being available. And then we just decided to click play and let people see me speaking the podcast. So I was doing the exact same thing I was already doing. I was just letting more people see it. And that was really helpful as well. So just a reminder that there are a lot of different ways. We want to find a simple strategy that you can execute on again and again and again as you grow in video. I do want to say this. Jared is scratching the surface of what he knows and what he can teach on video. He's helped me with a bunch of cool strategies. We've done quarterly marketing days. He's actually come and filmed things for me. He's helped me with the equipment, the setup, and a number of different things that could help me be more effective in video. And he's going to be speaking at our summer conference, going in a lot greater depth than what we're going to get to today in this podcast episode. We like to keep the podcast short and punchy, but if you want to see Jared live, he's going to be at our CCA Live, Christian Coaches Academy Live 2025 Summer Conference speaking. He spoke at last year's conference and everyone loved it. It was amazing. He'll likely be there with video and camera and doing some other things too with his team. And so you'll have the opportunity to hang out with Jared for 3 days, have an opportunity to hear him speak and go greater depth on this topic. He'd be able and willing, I'm sure, to have one-on-one conversations with you about video during the conference. So if you're not signed up yet, you got to get signed up. It's F2I Tribe. That's F, the letter 2, or the number 2, excuse me, letter F, number 2, letter I, F2I, tribe.com/CCA live. Yeah. And we'd love for you to sign up and come see Jared, all of our other speakers. A lot of great sales and marketing content, a lot of great fellowship, prayer, wonderful time with good Christian leaders that you'll want to connect with. But Jared's at the top of the list. Okay, excuse me to all of our sponsors. You're all at the top of the list, but Jared's definitely at the top of the list also. I do want to say this. This is the Sales Strategies for Christian Coaches podcast. One of the things that's cool about Jared is he's got a great capacity for implementation. When I met him at that lunch, and he's like, oh yeah, I kind of had this idea of like doing a coaching business around video marketing. I had no idea how fast he would go and how fast it would grow. But he has a great capacity to learn and to implement. There's a podcast episode called Back Pocket Offers, and Jared took that one strategy and immediately got like a $3,000 a month client in his business. And I think maybe later a 5 or 8 or something like $1,000 a month. He's gotten some big sales. He's built a very successful business. Going to do over 6 figures this year, starting from zero just a couple of years ago. And he's obviously done a good job implementing some of the sales strategies that we teach here. So I wanted to ask him if he would share 1 or 2 sales strategies that he thinks could help Christian coaches listening to this.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest thing was just having conversations. Prospecting calls is a conversation with an invitation at the end. And if you're in the mindset of trying to coach that person, and gather information and ask questions, and you remove that commission breath where I have to close this sale, I have to close this person, and you think in a mindset of abundance. Like there's a lot of opportunity out there, but sales calls are conversations with an invitation at the end. That has been a really huge benefit to me. And then I would say like just persistence is another one. And these 2 clients I've worked on, it took me a different perspective to close them, but I've been nurturing these relationships over the past 2 years. And so they finally moved forward because I listened to Justin's podcast, and I highly recommend that you do listen to it. It's a lot of great content. And the one thing just clicked. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, let me offer this. And that has really doubled my business this year compared to last year.
Super cool. And Jared's been through our sales school. He's done a lot of work to get to the place that he's at. And he mentioned, like, the first thing he came up with again is repetition, right? Just have conversations. Same thing with video. Sales and video and almost everything we do in our business is very process oriented, and we just need the repetitions. I was listening to Giannis Antetokounmpo, great Milwaukee Bucks basketball player who I love, talking the other day about his process. And he was talking about how if you want to be great, you have to stay in love with the process.
Yeah.
And like when people fall off, it's because they fall out of love with the process. But if we stay in love with the process and the repetitions and the day-to-day, and we focus on mastery and getting better, we're going to have a lot of success. So the same thing is true of videos. That's true of sales, with everything else. And then what he hit on was just a simplification of what sales is that I totally agree with. Ask great questions and have meaningful conversations. Follow that up with an invitation to buy for people who seem like ideal prospects when it's a win-win. And then be persistent with people who say they're interested in following up and following through to get it over the finish line. Those are really, really good tips. Thank you for that, Jared.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, anything else you want to share with the Christian coaches and entrepreneurs who are listening?
I think we are here on this earth for a limited amount of time. It's unguaranteed. And so if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, what you want to do, and just enjoying it to the best of your ability, then I think you should reach out to Justin to help out with some coaching. You should reach out to other coaches to help out. Like, just get into the right mindset. Like, we should really enjoy what we do. And I think I spent a long time in my life just not enjoying life, and now I love it. Like, this is my vocation, and I absolutely love what I do, and that I get to help other people do what they love to do. So I think that, I don't know where I was going with this, but we're only here for a limited amount of time, and it's really important that you enjoy the time that you have, and you just work. But have grace in yourself, because no one's holding you accountable to anything. No one is like knocking at your door like, you're not putting enough pressure on yourself. Just enjoy life and take advantage of the time that you have, because we only have one life and one opportunity to make a real impact on the world.
Yes.
That's what I want to say.
Yes. Have fun. Do work that you love. We've got a great opportunity to do this. If you want to learn how to do the work you love better, greater marketing skill sets, greater sales skill sets, meet great speakers like Jared, dive deeper into these kinds of topics, join us at CCA Live, www.f2itribe.com/CCA Live. If you're listening to this right away, we might still have early bird tickets available, but the ticket pricing that we have all the way to the finish line of this event are amazing, and the event's happening in June. We would love for you to check it out and join us. Additionally, if you want to follow Jared, check him out on, you won't be surprised, YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Jared Wittman, and if you want something fun, search Bacon with Billy for something that my kids love and a little side project of Jared's. Hope to see you all at the conference. Thank you, Jared. Talk to you all next time. Cheers.